Hello, my name is Teacher Chanda. Today, we're going to talk about the active voice and the passive voice. Okay, at first, what is an active voice? An active voice is a sentence that has a subject, which is the doer of the action, a verb, and an object who receives the action. Okay, in every sentence that always has a subject that is the doer of the action is what we call an active sentence. Okay, and not all active sentences are changed into passive voice, but what is a passive voice? A passive voice is a sentence that has a subject, but it doesn't act as the doer of the action. It acts as the receiver of the action. For example, in this sentence, this is an active sentence, okay? John cleaned the room. Okay, in this sentence, John is the doer of the action. And our object, the room, is the receiver of the action. Okay, now we're going to change this active sentence into a passive one. But how? We're going to make the receiver as the subject of our sentence. For example, we will say, the room and then the verb, and we have to use the be verbs with the verb. Like here we use the past form, so we have to use was for singular, plus the past participle form of the verb, clean. Okay, so this sentence now turns into passive by placing the object as the subject. But still, our subject here is the receiver of the action. Why do we use the passive voice? We use the passive voice if we want to emphasize the subject or the receiver of the action, but not the doer of the action. And next, we use the passive voice if the doer of the action is unknown. Like, for example, when I say, somebody cleaned the room. Okay, take note that in this sentence, our subject or the doer of the action is unknown. So in cases like this, because we couldn't know who is the subject, so we don't have to focus on the subject. We just have to focus on the receiver of the action, like here. We can also say, the room was clean. Okay? Is that clear? Now, always remember that in using the passive voice, we have to use the subject plus the be verbs, which is always in the passive voice in any form, plus the past participle of the verb. Okay, so in some cases, in the passive voice, we also use who did the action. So by adding who did the action in the passive, we can use the preposition by. For example, in this sentence, John cleaned the room. The room was cleaned by John. Okay, so this is how we use the passive voice. We can also use the passive voice with a simple present sentence, with a simple past sentence, with a continuous form, with a present perfect sentence, with modal verbs, and other sentences that uses to be verbs. I know that right way on how to make passive sentences. Thank you.